You're listening to the Gulag Podcast with Narrow Minds and Jay Stuns.
Good morning, boys and girls. The Gulag Podcast. I know it's Saturday. Everybody's like, wait. When are you guys doing the Gulag Podcast right now? All right, relax. All right. We got a special guest in. She had to get to the Saturday. So you get to see her on Saturday. And if you don't watch this live right now, you get to see her after the new year, right? Even though I have my Christmas, I know Christmas lights are on behind me. I get it. But technically we're filming this during Christmas time. All right, so don't sit there and tell me that, why do you have your Christmas lights up? Well, because it's still Christmas time. But for when you guys listen or watch this, it will be past Christmas time. It will be into next year, 2021. All right?
Should be the first of the year, right?
When this comes out, I kind of delayed the last one we taped, so it might be towards the second week of January.
Well, if we got one coming out tomorrow, then the 27th, so then this one should be coming out January 3rd. So it'll be the first one of the new year.
Okay, so it will be the first one of the year. At least this half will be the first one of the year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2021. We're talking to you in the future. All of you. All right?
There you go.
There we go. There's the Magnum look again. Yep. You did the Magnum look already. Did the Magnum look 2 minutes into the...
How long are we in here for already?
Timestamp that one, people.
I retire. No more podcasts ever again for me.
That's the Magnum look.
Oh, no.
Today, we have Miss Katie Pierce in the building with her with her casino chair that she's got, Look at all those lights going in the background, huh?
Lucky sevens.
There we go.
I'm in Vegas.
She's in Vegas right now. She's talking. She's talking to us from a slot machine in Vegas. Like
she's in East Coast Vegas.
Like this webcam I put all in the slots.
Yeah, it's just a webcam. That's all it is. Yep. So she's over there having fun in Vegas, but she's also doing a podcast with us. If you're wondering why it looks like it's a regular room, that's just a green screen behind her thing. There's actually a bunch of slot machines and card tables right behind her. Yeah. All right. So today we will have her on stream along with a gaming doc, who's part of the Rockettes now, apparently.
Does that make you the gaming rocket?
The gaming rocket.
There you go.
Rebranding coming.
Rebranding in the works.
New channel.
So obviously our whole focus for this second season is about building communities. And also today we're going to be talking about a little bit about mental health with Katie and the doc here, so that way they can get their input. The reason for mental health and the reason that we're kind of bringing this up also is because the fact that there is that second round of lockdowns. So if you didn't, once you just started feeling normal, even though you're sitting there wearing a mask, I went to Costco yesterday, and it's like, I watched the guy walk around. He tried to put a mask on, but he had one of those like noses that, I don't know what you want to call them, but just like, that thing was, the thing with the damn mask wouldn't fit around his nose. Like it just kept on going as he's walking, and then he sits there and pulls it up, and then it's like that. It's like the pair of pants that don't fit anymore, and they just keep on sliding down. That's what it looks like.
Yep.
Drake,
I feel like I've seen
thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So that's what that's what it's come down to, is like I'm sitting there and everybody's wearing a mask, and some people are trying, and then there's people like I took, my mom went with me, and she always does this. She puts her mask down, and then she'll walk in everywhere, and then be like, oh my god, and I'm like,
forget.
Yeah, you forget. Yeah. But so now we're going to talk about that, because the mental health is very important, because people are being driven crazy by having to stay home, by not having all that social stuff.
The second half.
Yeah.
That's the second half of our conversation.
Right. Yeah. But I'm telling people what we're getting into today, Jay.
I know. I'm just letting
relax.
Don't make me give you the look, Narrow. I'll do it.
Do it. Give me Magnum right now. There it is. Magnum. Oh, no. Magnum is in the building. Also, Magnum is part of a never mind. Twitch gets enough money from them. They're not one of our sponsors, so never mind.
Please leave my body size out of this, thank you.
No, I was gonna say I was going to say Magnum
Let's-
is also
let's
a
just
brand
not
of
say- let's
Trojan.
just not-
All right.
Yeah, let's just not.
But we will talk about our sponsor, our sponsored product, the Corbulus 9000. Get it right now.
Boy.
I told Corb that I would look at. I told
I'm
Corb.
not gonna lie. I'm gonna do a
KJ,
whole promotional
what's up? Welcome
thing
to the
for
stream.
this Corbulus 9000. I'm gonna do a whole promotional.
A jar
thing,
of peanut
and it's
butter a
gonna be
day.
recorded, and we'll just play it.
Listen to the slogan though. A jar of peanut butter a day keeps the Corbulus away. There you go.
Boy. Oh boy.
No, a jar of peanut butter a day makes the Corbulus want to play.
Oh, that's true.
Ah.
That's true.
What are you
Oh.
guys even
Okay,
talking
so
That's okay. Just smile and nod.
okay, so here's the story
Okay.
with the Corbulus 9000.
about? I don't know if I
One
want
of
to hear
our
this, but
friends,
I'm prepared.
We always joke around with him that he loves peanut butter and all this stuff. So I don't know how it evolved, but it became.
It was
a
my
sex
fault.
toy.
It was my fault. I'm the creator of it.
Yeah, it's a sex toy that doubles as a mood ring, and when you're done using it, it changes colors to let you know how you feel.
What?
But then we all know that sometimes you have questions, and the ball sack are 2 magic 8 balls that you can ask questions, and it'll give you an answer. And when you're done using it, it shoots out a peanut butter scented fortune, like a fortune cookie, so you know how your day's gonna be.
Oh my
So
god.
that's yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So this is interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's,
wait, is the mood ring thing, is that supposed to be for the female or for anyone?
Whoever uses it.
Whoever
We're not
uses
gonna
it.
go into specifics.
Okay. I'm just gonna so is my question is a lot of times females like to make the male feel better, so they'll fake like an orgasm, right?
Mhm.
So is this like to get to the bottom of if they're faking it or not?
No,
Is
it's
that
just
what the
it's
mood
just
ring's
a,
about?
you'll
Like, is
know.
she really?
It's just you'll know when you're done using it if you're happy or sad or.
That is an
whatever.
excellent question. That is
Okay.
an
Actually, you
excellent-
know
I
what?
had never thought of that.
You know what? Katie has
This is
come
like
up with a
lie
new marketing
detector for
ploy.
women.
Katie's come up with
Yeah, I don't
a
know.
new thing because yes, guys, and you know who
Is
you
your
are.
girl faking it? Give her a Corbulus
Guys.
9000, you'll find out.
Let's have a little genuine moment here, guys. You know who you are, right? You know that your girl's faking it, huh? So now
All I know
Katie's
is
cut.
men have questions.
Now we're gonna come up with the Katie lie detector. All right,
Oh
The lie
God.
detector mood
Oh,
ring
The peer-
extraordinaire.
the Piercer 3000, huh?
Oh no!
Right?
Uh,
You should have said
No.
anything, Katie. 'Cause
Right.
now that's gonna get drawn up. And
The Piercer, the Piercer 3000. It will tell you, boys, if you're not doing your job. And all it is
Oh,
one
boy.
ring in different sizes, because apparently not everybody has the same size.
Yeah.
Not one size fits all.
Not one size fits all. So the Piercer
Like life.
3000 coming soon. Now
like math.
I have something new now. There you go.
Oh god.
Oh, see, now you are a part of it.
Not the
And you can
Pester.
never get out.
Wait, KJ. Not the Pester 3000. It's called the Piercer. After
There-
Katie.
there's
It's
more
after
backing
Katie
out
over
now.
there. Piercer 3000. All right? Not the Pester
man.
3000. It's the Piercer
Not gonna
3000.
lie, when I hear piercer, I totally think piercings of somehow
Yeah.
but we're not. No,
All right,
Never
Katie.
mind.
You,
I
you,
take it
you,
back.
you've
take
now
it back.
you've now been branded. You're welcome.
Oh Jesus. All
You're
right.
you are
Great
the
intro.
yeah.
Welcome to your seat on the crazy
It's
train.
It's gonna
Yeah,
her commercial's gonna be is she faking it? Well, now you'll know with a Piercer 3000.
Do you want answers to your long-awaited questions?
Right?
Do you want to know if your
Oh, boy.
relationship is worth it?
Is she sleeping? Is she sleeping while you're doing it?
Sleeping? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That's how you know
That's a
the
skill.
thing. That's how you know
Yeah.
things are boring. If she's falling
Yeah.
asleep, right?
If you want
Sleeping
answers to
on
the
you.
most desired questions, pierce the veil.
Oh no.
There you
guys
go.
Remember that band? It was like a really weird alternative band, Pierce the
Mhm.
Veil. Or wasn't it even
Ooh,
alternative?
that would be.
Screamo
No,
band.
Oh,
there's,
you-
a band, there's a band called Pierce the Veil.
Really?
I remember from Warp Tour, my good old days
Mhm.
at Warp Tour.
Yep.
So there you go. Now you've been introduced, Katie. Now you got your own.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
what
All
Warped
the
Tour,
product
that's all
the
about.
product promotion out of the way. We get all the product promotion out of the way. I have seen Katie from the start
Ah,
build from a new streamer to just a quickly uprising streamer and a quickly uprising community. So when the chance came to get her on here, I was like, okay, I got this. We had to do a little bit of a rush job, but we got it done.
I know, because
So
Jay's in the middle of the week asking me, he goes, you want to do another podcast? I'm like, didn't we tape the ones for the end of the year already? I'm like,
wait, new one?
a new one?
I'm an overachiever. I'm an overachiever.
I
okay?
guess so. I'm sitting there, I'm like,
You go, Jay.
Of course.
I'm like sitting there, I'm like,
the opportunity when the opportunity presents itself.
right?
That's
And
a
I'm sitting there,
go-getter. That's who you are, Jay.
and
I
he's,
grabbed the opportunity by the corb.
Like,
but did you use the 9,000?
No.
Oh.
and you pierced it.
And then you pierced it. There you go.
Hey, opportunity strikes for the one who claims it.
True.
So now that you mentioned that, Katie, how new are you to streaming? Like how many months, years?
So, yeah, I started streaming on August 29th, 2020. I have a date for you. But it's actually funny. I really wasn't taking it, like, I didn't think it was going to be anything. Like, I basically was playing Fall Guys, like everybody at that time. And I was like, this is such a fun game. Like, I really enjoy it. And I was like, I just want to. And I was playing on PS4. So I was like, I saw that there was like a broadcast button on the PS4. And I was like, this is interesting. I wonder if anyone will see this. So I hit the broadcast, like, go live button. And I was sitting there. It was just me sitting there playing Fall Guys with like my boyfriend who lives with me. And we were just chit-chatting with each other. And I was playing Fall Guys. And then someone like hopped in the chat. And I saw somebody comment. And I was like, what? It scared me. I was like, what are they saying? Like, I don't know who this person is. Like, so it took a while for me to adjust to streaming. And I actually started off, like I said, just on my PS4 with the broadcast thing and like with the on air, like the basic typical like streaming setup. And my face just like awkwardly in the corner. But I started doing that and I have my TV mounted in my living room and I had my PS4 cam that comes with the PS4. I had it zip tied to the wires that were coming down from my TV so that it would be at eye level. And I was sitting on my coffee table and that's how I started streaming. I was just like, I don't even know where to begin. So it's been a process. I've been streaming now for like 4 months and some change. And if you look at where I started and where I am now, it's just like such a whirlwind experience. There's so much I had to learn. There's so much I had to like come to terms with and technology and just like everything on the internet and specs with like PC and stuff like that. I ended up getting a PC. And it's funny. I searched like cheap gaming PC and bought the first thing that showed up. So my PC is not the best. I don't have the best specs, but it works. It does the job. My brother, who's like a PC nerd, gave me a monitor. So I have a second monitor. I went and bought one at like Walmart for like however much it was. I don't even know. But I really just jerry-rigged this whole experience together. And here I am now. So it's great, though, because we've built this community of people that I would have never expected to come together and kind of just like promote like mental health and just being open about like sharing experiences, whether positive or negative. I know like some days I'm not up for streaming and I'll hop on a Just Chatting and be like, guys, today's not my day, but I just wanted to get on here and talk with you guys because at the end of the day, I think streaming has been like a rock for me through this whole pandemic, like just in general. Like I know I have my boyfriend here and it's great because I have another person in my house and a lot of people don't have that. But this added factor of having an outlet of people that are there in a community and you can talk to people. I think that's something that people are feeling very isolated right now. And that's not something people get a lot. So just being a source for that, but also having a community I can go to and be like, what's up, guys? Like randomly, if I'm not feeling great and I feel like this pandemic's getting to me, I can just come on and be like, no, I'm having a down day, but here I am. And just showing up, I think, is really important. But yeah, to answer your question, that was very long-winded, but yeah, like 4 months now. Started streaming on the 29th.
So you're right there with Doc. Like Doc only started a couple months ago too.
October 4th.
There you go.
Oh my God. Congrats. I feel like there was this wave of people too. And I remember when I first started, people were like, yeah, COVID really brought a lot of people into streaming. And that's so true. And like, I think for good reason, because Twitch in essence is just people with meeting communities of people and getting to interact with people. And even if they're strangers, it's just having somebody to go to at the end of the day. And that's, I think, what's so important. But
it's the socializing. It's the socializing you would have gotten being out in public without actually going out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not even, honestly, if I think about the socializing I did in public, and this is another thing for me, is like, I find it so easy to talk to you guys and like talk to my community and stuff like that. But in reality, like I am such an introvert, like socially, like if I'm at a party, I am the type of person where I don't really start conversation with people. I'm like, I get very intimidated about that. And it's hard because like you see me here and you're like, she's totally an extrovert. And I'm like, I'm totally not. But like when I was in college, I was in a sorority and stuff like that. And I would not approach people first. Like, I'm just not that person. Like, if I'm at a party, I'm just like standing by the Kool-Aid, like standing by the lunch bowl, just like hanging out by the snacks. Yeah. Like, that's totally me. And I enjoy my alone time. I enjoy having like days where I'm just doing whatever I want to do. Like, that's totally who I am in essence. So Twitch and streaming services like that really have empowered me to like have this community, talk to people, get out of my comfort zone. But for some reason, it's so easy. I think because there's that screen involved where like, I think about it and I'm like, if you three were like sitting here with me, I'd be intimidated. I would probably be less inclined to talk. Like I'd just be listening.
It's because Jay's so handsome. Everybody gets the chance.
Yeah. I think at first, if like you had just met us on here and then we met like say like a week later in person, you would be intimidated. But the fact that you've been talking to everybody for so long, now it's like if you met us, it'd be nothing.
Right. And it's just having this opportunity to create those relationships in this form. I think in this like area, this space, this way that we're doing it is so, I think it's so beneficial for people like me and people who maybe aren't like me that have these like, they're kind of introverted tendencies and maybe they're not talking to people online and maybe they don't have people to talk to. They don't have a community of friends that they've met organically through like socializing in life. And that's where I think it's so important because like, yeah, I have like 2 best friends in life. Like by no means am I like popular in my world, but here I'm like, wow, I have a community of people that are interested in what I'm saying, interested in getting to know me, and the same for them. Like I'm very interested in getting to know people that come to my stream, why they came, what they're about, like that kind of thing. So
do you think that this changed you in changing your ways once we can all start gathering again and once we can go to like places, public places, and let's say you go to a party? Do you think that being here on Twitch has changed like your outlook on becoming an extrovert or at least taking steps to start talking to people while you're out there now?
Yeah, I've actually noticed just in this like little time of like 4 months, like I've noticed people saying to me, like, you seem very happy, you seem very bubbly, you seem very upbeat, you seem very like not talkative, but like I find myself feeling more comfortable in those positions where as before it would be like I'd be like very nervous, very like timid. And I feel like now it's like I have like the tools, I think, to feel more comfortable in that position, knowing that people do want to hear what I have to say. People do want to engage in conversation. And I think I had this kind of thing in my brain before where I was like, I don't think people really care what I have to say. I might say the wrong thing. And like on stream, it's allowed me to be like, well, even if I say the wrong thing, like not in a bad way, but like I say something stupid or silly, like people are like, they laugh with me. They're not laughing at me, like that kind of thing. So it's interesting. Yeah. I have felt more comfortable in those situations since I started streaming. But I'm excited to see where it takes me, honestly, because it's just brought so much good and positivity into my life in a time that could have easily been very isolating and painful. And it still is. I mean, like, you know, knowing what's going on in the world, knowing people who have relatives or friends that are suffering through COVID and stuff like that, it's still hard. And I could easily turn into this person that's like, you know what, I don't even care. COVID's gonna, you know, I'm gonna give all the power to COVID and just, you know, fall into this like depressive pit. And it is like that for a lot of people. And not saying you have control over that or not, but I'm saying for me personally, it's helped to kind of have this outlet. Especially as someone who suffers from anxiety. I know that this is definitely a time for people who suffer with anxiety that it's like insane because there's already just anxiety as a culture around this disease and not getting it and preventing it and don't go outside, don't talk to anyone, like that kind of thing. So as someone who suffers from it, it's like amplified 10 times. It's like,
okay,
wow, like I could be sitting here freaking out.
Drajan has asked, Drajan has asked to make sure you turn your chair blue. Apparently.
Oh God, he always asks for that. Okay.
There you go. You've gotten blue. No more casino. All right, Drajan, just for you. You got the blue color now.
Solid color.
Just
okay.
a solid
I
blue.
believe I met Katie through Becca. Actually, I think Becca had raided her one day, and that's how I met Katie.
Yeah. It's funny, when I first started streaming, Nessa reached out to me, I think like right off the bat. It must have, I don't know if we were in the same group or something, but she reached out and she was like, hey girl, if you need anything, like let me know. Cause I know she had like a ton of followers when I first saw her, and I was like, oh my God, like she's famous. Like I was like so blown away by her. And like I looked up to her, and just that someone was so open to like helping me. I was like, oh, this is a good person. So hers was like the first Discord I joined for like another streamer. And I met so many great people like Becca and everyone. So there's people I still like engage with today. Like I'll hop into Becca's chat and her stream and just hang out there. It's funny because they play a lot of FPS, which is like something I'm not good at, but I respect so much because I do not have the hand-eye coordination. I am not like by any means like skilled enough to play. I haven't been playing FPSs all my life. Like, but I look up to them because I'm like, dang, those are women in this industry that are like competitive with the men, can actually like hold their own in this game. Like they're representing women in such a great way. So I idolize them with my whole heart. Like
we can get you there, Katie. We can get you there.
Okay. Oh God, no, no thanks.
I mean,
I'm with you, Katie. I'm still learning all this, and it's like, you know, I've told people before that basically I reach a point quickly where I panic and begin firing randomly into the trees. So you know, it's like, oh my God, this woman's amazing. But you know, bit by bit, in learning how to do that, and even just watching other people stream, and I go, wow, you know, they're doing such a good job. They're so smooth. And by taking comparison out of it, because it's like comparing, you know, I had to learn not to compare myself to the people who were, you know, that far ahead of me, but to compare myself to the people at my level, or better yet, compare myself to the way I was yesterday. It's like, well, compared to yesterday, I'm able to do a little bit better. I don't panic quite so fast. So, you know, it's for me, it's that be able to admire and acknowledge where people are at, but realize they weren't always there.
Well,
right, exactly.
And here, Katie, just to make, you know, just so you know, you panic. You'll probably panic if you go to the FPS shooters, right? Nessa panics when she hunts ghosts, and she sticks her head through the wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's 2 YouTube videos out of Nessa of her.
Ostriches, straight up ostriches. Whenever she sees a ghost, she bends over, head right through the wall or a window, either one.
Oh my God, no!
So, you know, if that makes you feel better, is Nessa could be a great FPS player, but when it comes to hunting ghosts, heads through the wall, or she's trying to run. It's either one or two things.
That's why, like, that's why I love Twitch, because it really does create a space for anyone who's playing any type of game. And like, I have so much respect for the FPS like category and people and stuff. I'm not gonna, I mean, I could try to like, you know, build up my shooter skills and stuff like that. I'm not sure it's like an interest of mine, but I have respect for that category too. And like, just for me, like I play a lot of party games. I consider myself a variety streamer because I like messing around with games and showing people like the first run-throughs of stuff like Calico, like games that people wouldn't normally play, like a game where you own a cat cafe. Like that's what I'm playing. Like games where we can freak out about how cute something is or how funny something is, like do party games, play around, like that kind of thing. But I think it's also like this idea for me of like not trying to like box myself in with one thing, and that's why I like the variety category and stuff like that. But I've had so many people come into my stream and be like, yo, play COD with me, play COD, and I'm like, no. So I've recently tried like Overwatch, which is like a really big esports game. Overwatch. I wouldn't have played Overwatch unless somebody sent me it. Like somebody sent me the physical game to my PO box, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" When I opened it, because I was like, "No." But I opened it, and I was like, "I don't know how this is gonna go." But then they were in my chat. Yeah, on PlayStation 4. So
PS4, yes.
I know, dude. I tried so hard to get a PS5. I just am giving up at this point. But anyway, so they gifted me Overwatch, and I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I held off on it for a while, and I actually played it for the first time like 2 nights ago. And I played as like a support unit because I knew I wasn't going to be great like with the aiming and the shooting and all that stuff. So I played as a support unit and I didn't do too bad. And it actually gave me hope. I'm like, maybe I could be good as like a support unit in this game. Like, who knows? Like,
there are a lot of people that make it as support mains in Overwatch.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I could be decent at this. And it gave, because like, I mean, with support, like you just have to like, it's not as big of like a hit. I mean, it's a bigger hitbox than like aiming. You know what I'm saying? So like with the support, you can like cast whatever it's called at the people, and it like basically hits them every time, which is great. But for me, it was like, okay, so maybe I'm not going to be the main person that's shooting and like doing all the damage, but being a support unit, like that's a game where I could still thrive and like still be a part of that. So it gave me like a little insight of like, maybe I'm not the worst at shooters. Maybe I could stand to learn a few things. Maybe I could still get involved in like these big esports types of games. But it was just like eye-opening. I was like, wow, okay, this wasn't as daunting as I thought.
Well, okay, so you got to promise.
Nessa the Ghost Ostrich just said, hey, Katie, let's play COD.
You got to promise, Katie, that the off stream that you play with me, Jay, and Nessa, and you know, we'll play, and Becca, we'll all play some first-person shooter games. Just you know, so not on stream, but if you feel after that, if you feel cocky enough to play on stream, then let's do it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Here's what I'll say about COD. So when I was younger, my brother would play Call of Duty all the time. He'd play Halo, all that stuff. He actually went to like an MLG tournament for Halo. So I actually had to go with him. It was like at New York at this convention center. I forget where.
Jacob Javits.
And that was like, honestly.
Javits?
Maybe. It might have been. I don't know. I just remember he was 15, I was 10, and I couldn't be home alone. So I had to go. And I remember my mom driving us there, and like I was in this room with like these sweaty, smelly 15-year-old boys, like chugging Mountain Dews playing Halo 2. And I was like, this is gaming? I'm good. Like, I was like, no thanks. But I always got his hand-me-down system. So he would always give me, whenever the next new one would come out, I get the like most like recent one. So I think it was like the PS2 or something. And like, he would always play COD and I'd watch him. And then as I grew up, like I would have these babysitting jobs around the neighborhood where I'd babysit like these kids and they would be playing COD and they'd want me to play COD. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like I remember playing Black Ops with them and stuff like that. And I think like I forget what mode it is, but where you're just like two teams, like going at each other, trying to like kill each other. I'm good at that stuff.
Yeah.
But like Warzone though, I'm like terrible at. And the one thing though I will say, people have forced me to play COD on my channel. I've done it once or twice, very sparingly, just because people were like, you better play COD, oh my god. So I was like, all right, to quell all the hype, I will play a game. So I played with Mickey Dunn, who's one of my mods, and Rumpel, who's another one of my mods. But anyway, we were playing, and I realized that, yes, I'm going to end up in the Gulag every time, but I'm good at getting out of the Gulag. But I always get myself in there, so
that's half the battle.
Half the battle is getting out of the Gulag, because sometimes
sometimes I can't.
Yeah, sometimes I'm sitting there like I'm through 3 walls, and the magician on the other side of the Gulag has shot me through 3 walls without seeing me. So yeah, it's
so crazy.
It's a tough thing. So you grow
1v1.
Yeah. Oh, good. So you can 1v1 Nessa. There you go, Nessa. I know you're watching.
Oh, no.
1v1.
Hell no.
You and Katie.
No. Oh, God.
We will, and we will stream it live. Me and Jay will codcast and stream it live.
Oh, no.
Codcast.
Yeah, we will be the codcasting the event.
Oh, wait, Becca, since you're here, is this the one that everybody's talking about?
That's Magnum. That's Magnum right there.
Magnum? There you go.
He has Magnum 1 through 6. You pick which look you want. There you go. That's Magnum 2.
What the hell?
Nessa
and
says,
for those of you who have no idea about that, watch the movie Zoolander.
Nessa says she's down 1v1, Katie. 1v1, she's down.
Shit.
She is down. She said, hey, you heard it here, right? Guys, you heard it here. She's good. She's good at gunfight 1v1. So Nessa versus Katie Pierce.
Katie involved in customs night.
Yeah. Nessa versus Katie Pierce. Pay-per-view event. Well, actually not pay-per-view because you're going to watch it on Twitch, right?
Yeah.
But it will be on Twitch. We will announce it 2021, the battle of 2021. Nessa slays.
You kids have fun storming the castle.
Seriously.
Doc will be there to cheer. Doc will be there to cheer both of you guys on.
That's
no problem.
right. I'll be the medic.
Yeah.
I'll just run out and stab people with the hypo and then run away.
So there you go, Katie. We got you your
Pierce
first
Slays
Pier 2021. I'm telling you. So get ready, Katie. Start warming up. You got your coaches. All your coaches are right where you know Jay, you know me, you got all these people here. And then
all the support.
you can't play with Nessa because you're gonna learn all her strategies. So we're gonna have to 2021.
What strategies? Nessa has aim assist.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Ooh,
that's right. By the way, if you didn't see the cool Christmas card that I made for Nessa and Team Beckett Slays, there, amazing. It took me I had to angle, I had to get the faces at the right angle just to make that Christmas card work.
I was looking for that on Twitter. Said it was on Twitter.
Nessa posted it too.
Okay,
I'll find it.
Nessa posted it too. But Katie, in such a short amount of time from August to now, it's only December 2020. You built. How many people would you say that you started? You started just like one person organically, 0 people. Obviously anybody. Okay, I will. You need a shower, Nessa? You don't need to tell us. You can go take a shower.
Permission granted.
Permission granted, Nessa. You can take a shower. But from that short amount of time, you built it organically, and we were talking about this last time. We were talking about how people, now you can go on, what is that site, Jay, where they can go buy their affiliate status?
M, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
What is it called?
Monster Cat.
Monster Cat. So you organically built your community, and you're a Twitch affiliate now, right? Between August and December.
Yeah. I do have to say, the one thing that changed after I became affiliate was I think they had affiliate process was on a rolling basis or something where once you hit 3 average viewers, you were immediately okay to be affiliate. Now I think you have to maintain that viewership over a period of time, which I think does make it harder for some people. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, I will say this isn't anything to write home about, but I had 5,000 people on Instagram. So I kind of had that base already a little bit. And I'm in marketing. I mean, my full-time job, I am a product marketing specialist. So I kind of know a little bit about marketing, a little bit about social media. So for me, it was more know what my strengths are with promoting and marketing and that kind of thing, and use them for the personal thing, the Twitch and everything. I had never done that before. I've only done marketing for companies and the companies I've worked for, and come to our webinar and come to our thing. And so for me, I'm how do I utilize this information and use it in my own personal endeavor with streaming? So I started with Instagram, just putting countdowns on my story, I'm going to go live, and putting my link in the bio and all that stuff. And I actually had to restart my Twitter and go through it because I hadn't used Twitter since 2013. So I was let me figure this whole thing out again. Let me jump back on Twitter, kind of reevaluate this space that I had been so far, I don't know, not a part of for so long. And it kind of I feel for me personally, it's just I've grown with this process. So some people, before they even stream on Twitch for the first time, are this is my game plan. I'm going to start Instagram. I'm going to have my Twitter. I'm going to have everything branded one way. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to start a Discord. I have everything ready for that. For me, I've just been all right, we're figuring it out as we go. We're going to start this, and then we're going to see what we have to do and go from there. So I started my Twitch, and then I promoted it on Instagram at first. And then I was oh man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I created a schedule because I realized that was really important. I created a Discord, even though I knew nothing about Discord. Still don't know anything about Discord. Still have so many flaws with my Discord, but at least it's up and running. At least there's because I realized I was there needs to be a space for people to talk offline, when I'm not streaming. So I had that. And then I redid my Twitter to kind of figure out how to start posting on there and get some traction on there. But it's a growing process, and I'm still learning to this day. I still am working on how to manage the Twitter and everything. And it's a lot. I will say, like, if you're not streaming, like, or if you're not doing a full-time stream, if you have a full-time career, like from 9 to 5, it is hard to get everything done that you need to do for streaming. And it has been a balancing process for me to manage, you know, my personal life, my career, and my streaming world. And to mend the two, you really have to have really great time management. Let your viewers and people know when you're going to be live and when you're not, when they can expect to hear from you, that kind of thing. And kind of just have it for yourself, because if you don't, you're going to kind of, for me personally, maybe be pulled in both directions. Like, I could be doing more work for work, or I could be doing more streaming for streaming. And there's this like dichotomy, and it's like, you have to set those time limits and those priorities for yourself of like, okay, I'm going to stream Tuesday at 12 for 2 hours. I'm going to stream Thursday after work for 2 hours. I'm going to make sure that between, you know, 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock, I'm working on work stuff. Like, cause of course you still have a full-time job, but it's interesting to know that like there's that opportunity for people who really want to do it to stream full time. But I think you have to be really confident in where you are in streaming. You have to have more of a consistent, you know, donations, subs, all that stuff to really have the financial aspect of it, which I think takes a while. I think people think that once you start streaming, you're going to have all this income and you're going to be able to like do all this stuff and ball out. And like, I've looked at my streams, and I was actually in there's a girl Twitch gaming Facebook thing groups that I'm in a part of. And I was like asking them, I showed my stats, and I was just completely transparently. And someone pointed out that for as many hours as I've streamed, people might look at me and be like, wow, she's got so many followers or so many subs or whatever. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to the numbers, I'm making less than $4 an hour streaming. That's less than minimum wage. Like, so it really has to be something that you're passionate about. And this is something that for me, once I started, I couldn't stop. It was like an addiction, honestly. I just really enjoy the feeling I get when I'm streaming, when I'm interacting with people, when I'm hearing their stories, when I'm talking to them about my story, sharing and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, like if it's about money or if it's about, you know, getting famous or like likes or all that stuff, I think you have to reevaluate why you're doing it. And for me, I think it was right away. I was just like, this isn't going to be something for me that's about money. It's going to be something for me that's about connecting with people. And that's so important during this time. So.
And you're right. And 100% of what you said is right, because, and like I said, we've talked about this in the past broadcasts, is that people, if you're doing this if you think you're going to be famous overnight, or you think you're going to be the next Narrow Minds or Jay Stuns, or don't do that Magnum look. Don't do that Magnum look right now. There's not the time for that.
You need a trademark that,
right?
Jay.
Or yeah, that's a trademark, Jay.
Who the hell wants to be the next Jay Stuns?
There's a lot of people want to be the next. There he goes, Magnum look again.
Dang. You'd be surprised. Honestly, when I posted my stats in the gaming group the other day, I was surprised because I wasn't like on there trying to like flaunt anything. Like, I honestly don't think of myself, and maybe this is like whatever, I don't think of myself as like this big streamer or gamer, and maybe that's just me like not, I don't know, maybe that's a self-worth thing, but like I posted my stats in there and people were like, oh, it looks like she's bragging. Like, it looks like she's bragging. And I was like, no, like, I'm not trying to brag. But I honestly didn't realize that people like that were trying to get to affiliate or, you know, were struggling with viewership, looked at that and it kind of triggered them. And they were like, why are you posting this? What do you need? Like, you don't need advice. You're well off. Like, and I'm sitting here like I was looking for advice from this community of like, trying to figure out like how I could be better in this area or this area from people who might be a little bit bigger, might have like more followers or whatever, and just looking to grow and looking for any ideas. And people were like, wow, like they were offended. And I was like, wow, okay, maybe I shouldn't post stats anymore. Like, that's probably not a good idea, not a good look, but.
Well, I mean, and that's really about more of them being able to see what it is, because what that becomes is it becomes a mirror. And what you did was, you know, you were believing transparency. So like you were holding up a window, but what they were seeing was a mirror. And what was reflecting back was going into that place of comparison. I mean, you should be tremendously proud of everything you've achieved. And I'm tremendously proud of you. And, you know, the fact that you are really down to earth about where you're at and the work. You know, what you get out of this is what you put into it. And because of your background, you have that idea. It's like, okay, this isn't just sitting and streaming. This is about social media. This is about Discord. This is about Twitter. This is about all these other pieces. And yet you don't lose your core self. So, you know, if somebody does come at you like that, you know, just consider it that this is them reflecting on themselves. And never, ever, ever let anybody take away from you the pride and the, you know, everything that you're doing, because also what you're doing for other people. That's your focus. So, you know, however this goes financially for you, which, I mean, I hope it goes amazingly well financially for you. But the thing is, you've already won, because what it is that you were looking for, you've already got.
Right, exactly. And that's how I felt. And
I don't think you should let anybody ever make you feel wrong for asking for advice, because you said you posted your numbers up with no ill will toward it. And to have somebody try to respond to you saying that, oh, why are you doing that? You hit this, you hit that. Listen, if you're struggling for a year and you don't have the 50 followers you need to make affiliate, then you need to look at what you're doing, because you're doing something wrong. So if you have Katie, who started out in August, who's grown unbelievably the way she's been going, go to her stream, check her out, see what she's doing. Maybe you could take something she's doing and apply it to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll help you get what you need, because you can see something that she's doing that you're not. Or in Narrow's case, you can go to Narrow stream, see something he's doing, or mine, or whoever. You go to a stream that is where you want to be, and you see what they're doing, and you try to apply to that. Or there's people like me. I stream. I made affiliate. I don't look to be like anybody. I don't look to... I mean, would it be nice to be a partner on Twitch? Sure. Is it my goal? No. Because my main goal with it is, when I'm streaming, I want to have fun. I want the people I'm playing with to have fun, and I want the people to watch have fun. That's it. Don't care about anything else. So if that makes me the bad guy, sorry.
Hey, Jay, just to let you know, there is a Facebook, Jay Stun's Facebook fan page out.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm serious. There is.
Serious?
Oh boy.
There's a Jay Stun's Facebook fan page.
Seeing is like one of the things that I
go ahead, Kate.
I really focus on in my channel and in my life is like mental health. When people did kind of say like, oh, it looks like she's bragging or whatever, I did directly kind of talk to them. And it was a learning moment, because I commented back to these people and I was like, hey, I really wasn't trying to, make anyone feel bad. I honestly was looking for advice. And I said to them personally, I said, if you're looking for any help, if you need advice, reach out to me. I will gladly help you in any way I possibly can. I can tune into your streams, let you know what you're doing. I can, try to see what's going on. And like at the end of the day, I love to share my community with people who are like-minded. Girl streamers are great, that kind of thing. So, and then people came back and they were like, you know what? It is just jealousy and I'm really sorry. And, any advice that you have would be great. So just taking that conversation, which could have been a really toxic thing, and people just like coming at me and being like, oh, she's bragging, like F her, like blah, blah, blah. And like sitting with them and saying, look, like, if you're jealous or whatever's going on, like I will be a resource for you. Don't look at me as the enemy. Look at me as somebody who can help you, because there is a lot of toxicity. And I don't think we talk about this enough between girl streamers on Twitch, and it can get really nasty. And, there's a lot of societal things that have caused women to look at each other as enemies instead of like friends and supporting each other. And that's why I think there is like this movement kind of on Twitch where it's like women supporting women, like women helping each other. Cause it's so easy to get wrapped up, like you were saying, Doc, about like comparing yourselves to others and comparing what you're doing to someone else and saying, wow, like they're better than me. And the typical thing for a woman is like, oh, she's prettier than me. And I think people always think like, oh, because a girl's prettier because a girl is like showing skin or whatever, that she's getting all the likes and the attention because of that. And like, I personally do not show a lot of skin. Like I basically play my game and that's it. And I laugh and I joke, but I don't have any disrespect for people who do that. Like make your living, do what you want to do. And like everybody has their own thing. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you know what? It's because she shows boobs or what. Like I'm not that kind of person. if you're doing what you believe in and that's your truth, and you are thinking that this is what you want to do, this is the audience that you want to attract, that's your truth.
Yeah.
That's your power. So I'm going to go and support you any way I can, because at the end of the day, we're both women. Like without anything else, like we're naturally like Twitch, I think, started as men playing games. So we're already trying to struggle to make our way in this community, right? So if your way of doing that is showing skin or not, it's individual to you. All I know is that we're both women. We're both struggling. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you're doing it wrong, I'm doing it right. Like whatever way is your way is your way. And we both need to help each other get past this not sexism, but like grow as women on this platform, because there's not enough women on Twitch. I'll just say that straight up. I think there should be more women on Twitch, but it's growing, it's getting there. And like, you know, whether that pisses people off or not is people's problem. But I'm going to empower anyone I can possibly empower on Twitch that's a female, because I know how hard it is. Like, it's not something that's just given to you. Like, you know, it's something we have to work for. So whatever way you work for it is your way. And I'm going to empower you either way. But looking at it, like you were saying, Doc, as less of a mirror, but more of like a window into that person's truth, and like just supporting that in any way you can, and fostering growth with them, and leaning on people, or trying to lean on people, or trying to help people is the best way you can possibly do that. I know what worked for me. So if someone's looking to get to where I'm at, I know what to tell them. I know how my experience went. I know how my journey went. So I can tell you, this is going to be hard. This is going to be easy. Here's what you need to do to get this set up, like that kind of thing. But again, that's specific to me. That's specific to my growth. I can give you pointers here and there. It might work. It might not work. It depends on what you're going for. Everybody's got a different vibe. Like, but yeah, like I try to be a resource more than like an enemy. And that's just the way I try to hold myself on Twitch. And I think Jay knows, like, I've come into situations where people have been very like welcoming or toxic and competitive, and I simply in those situations take myself out of the situation and offer myself as a resource for anyone that wants to come back or ask questions or whatever, and then welcome people with open arms. You know, like that's all you can do is just be there as a resource. Not
that situation Katie's talking about, there was somebody tried starting drama, and just instead of, the old me would have just said, you know, screw it and just cut everybody out. But obviously I grew up and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take time. I'm still supporting, doing everything, but I'm just going to take time. I'm going to not be near the situation. And the person that tried starting the drama showed their real colors, and it made it very easy for me to basically tell them to fuck off. And that's what I did. So I still supported Katie. You know, I may not have been as chatty or reached out as much, but I still supported. And, you know, now that my vision is clear on everything's right back to normal. So, you know,
it's hard because on Twitch,
the judgment, but
yeah.
I do want to ask though, Katie, you were talking about the whole female streamer aspect, and about how a lot of them like to go back and forth and actually battle each other. Now, I want to know from your perspective, because you did get into this game, and you got in, and you came out like a rock star, basically, essentially. This is what a lot of people. I'm telling you right now, and this is the reason I'm telling you this, is because a lot of people come into this believing that can happen in that short amount of span, and it doesn't, and they're stuck in like me and Jay were talking the other day. There's people that have been stuck trying to get an affiliate for almost 2 years now, or a year, right? So my thing is, does it also on the flip side, because you said you support everybody, but do you see in your eyes on the flip side that females that kind of, you know, they use the fact that, you know, they might have a nice, you know, a nice chest area, and yeah, and do you feel nice assets? Do you feel like part of that kind of ruins it, because then all these guys that come in that think that it's about that, because, you know, Jay Stuns is a mod in a lot of people's streams, and he sees it a lot, and so do you feel also that, you know, that it off-puts what you're trying to do, because you're there for gaming, and you're there for you know, showing people how to have a fun time playing games with random people. Do you think that aspect kind of ruins it for you too, that the people do that and then they expect you to do it and they come into your stream and you're not that person and they're just you know, they're just upset. You know, I've seen it, and here's the reason why, because I've actually tuned into your stream one time, and there was a guy, he followed you, and then a minute later he subbed to you, and then you said something about the fact that you had a boyfriend, and then he said,
he left.
No. I remember exactly what he said, because I think I told this to Jay Stuns. He wanted a refund for his subscription because he didn't know that you had a boyfriend. I don't know if you remember that, but I remember it distinctly, because I was sitting there and I was like, wait a minute. So the only reason that you came into this girl's chat is because, yes, she's pretty, number one. Number two, you came in thinking that you're going to start a relationship via a monitor and a camera. And number three, the minute you find out that it's because you said what triggered him is he asked what platform you were playing on, and you said I'm playing on my boyfriend's PS4. The minute you said boyfriend, he said boyfriend ? And then he said, "Can I get a refund on my subscription?" And I'm like, and that's the reason I'm saying this to you, is because it
Can
did.
the world get a refund on your life?
You know, that's why I'm saying this to you now, is because I saw it on your channel and I'm like, just because the girl said she had a boyfriend, you're all of a sudden you want your $5 back? Like, come on.
I know, right? It's so petty, but it's funny because before I even started streaming, I was reading about this, because it is such a stigma for women, because a lot of I mean, this is just in all aspects of life, our society, and this is just straight up. Basically, women derive their value societally. People look at women, and if they're pretty, then they have more value than someone who's not pretty. So that's why I think people have trouble, like, with these streamers that are attractive or whatever, and they're not using that as their thing, you know?
Yeah.
And people struggle with that, because I think there's this expectation that if you're pretty, you're supposed to use that to, like, make money and stuff like that, and that's the society that we have right now. And for me personally, talking about my audience and the community that I wanted to start, I looked at this and I faced this issue in the beginning. I was like, I have a boyfriend. Is that going to impact my streaming? Is that going to make me have less viewers? Is that going to make me have less of a community? What's going to happen? Like, and I had to struggle with that. And I was like, heck yourself, girl. Like, this is a big part of your life. Like, what are you going to do? Just, like, lie to people and be like, I don't have a boyfriend, like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's the expectation, is like, people want to see a single pretty girl, like, on Twitch, like, talking to men. And, like, that's not what I wanted to do. And I knew that. I knew that before the whole boyfriend thing came to the picture. But for me, it was like, how do I introduce this to this community? Because I had started this kind of solo, and, like, my boyfriend doesn't stream with me. He's a big Hearthstone player, so he loves Hearthstone, but he doesn't. He listens to, like, all these Hearthstone podcasts. I'm like, you should stream, like, but that's my thing, so it's fine. But I was like, how do I introduce this aspect of my life to this community? Because it is a struggle we have to face as women. For me, it's just become such a thing. Like, people in my chat know Brian. They're like, oh, how's Brian doing? They want to see him on stream. I have people that are like, I'll fight you for Brian. Like, men that are in my chat. They're like, he's so hot, I want to be with him. I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Yeah, he's just become a part of my stream because he's a part of my life. And the thing I wanted to do on Twitch was be completely real with everybody, be completely transparent. I know I talk about mental health, and that's, like, the most real you could get. But in other aspects, I think I would have been failing people if I wasn't straight up just like, yeah, I have a boyfriend. Because that's part of my life. And I want you to get to know me and not a persona I'm putting on for Twitch. Like, it would be so hard for me to keep up with, like, and I'm not saying that this isn't what you should do. Like, I see girls on Twitch with, like, wigs and their makeup all done and, like, cosplay and stuff like that. Like, I have a fucking full-time. I don't have time for that. Like, I'm sorry. I don't. Like, just straight up, I don't have time for that. So what you're going to get is me just being myself. And for the people that do use their appearance, that's totally fine too. I do warn people, though. I say, like, when you go into it doing that, you have to be ready for the audience that you're going to get. And it is a different audience. It totally is. I've dropped into those streams where people are, you know, and it's so dumb. Like, people call them, like, the titty streamers or whatever. Like, and it's so dumb that we have these judgments already on Twitch. But I've gone to those streams. I've seen what they're doing. And you know what? It works for them. Like if you make all that money from people who are just looking, you know, to have a pretty face or whatever it is, more power to you. Like there's these like crazy masochist men out there that all they want to do is see a pretty body or face. That's more power to you. Make money off of that, sis. Like do whatever you want to do. Like, you know, like get stuff out of that. But for me, it's like, if I'm looking for a long-term community that's going to be here, that's going to be invested in my life, in like seeing what's going on in my world, seeing what I'm about, like playing with me and growing with me through life, then it can't be about looks, because that's like such a transactional thing in my mind. And again, if that's what you do, that's what you do. And I support you, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to struggle and make it on Twitch as women. We're all always going to be in it together. So I don't have any bias towards those people. I don't have any ill will towards those people. But for me, like the trajectory I want to be on, I don't want this to be like a couple month thing where people are all hype about me. Everybody's like, oh, you're so pretty. And then like they jump off the bandwagon if I get a boyfriend or if something happens in my life, you know? So going into it, like I heard somebody was talking about how they met someone on Twitch and they literally got married on Twitch. Like that's following someone through their journey. Like it could easily have been that girl being like, yeah, I'm just going to sit here and pretend like I don't have a boyfriend so that more people will follow me. But she was like, yeah, I met my boyfriend on Twitch. They both were streamers. So like they got married on Twitch and all that stuff. And people were like trying to follow their relationship story. They weren't following for like whatever. So the reason people follow is the reason people follow. I'll never be in control of that. I still don't know why half the people that follow me. It could be because they think I'm funny. It could be because they think I'm pretty. It could be whatever their perceptions of me are and whatever their reasons for following me are. I can't go into their mind and pick their brain about why they did. All I can do is be myself. And people who are going to want to see me for me are going to come and see me for me. And people who want to see something else are going to leave and go find whatever they're looking for. And that's why Twitch is a great place, because they have everything for everyone, whatever you're looking for. There's people who just want to play games. There's people who want to, work on their appearance and, have fun and just do just chattings. And I do just chattings too, but not, I do different. I talk about mental health, but yeah, like that kind of thing. If you just want to hang out with somebody, you can hang out with somebody. You can, compete with people. So there's something for everybody. And that's what I love about this. I don't think we should look at it as like one area of Twitch is better than another. One group of people doing this thing is like the way to go. Like, I think if you want to be on Twitch and you want to, have a community, you have to just show who you are. And people are going to either like you or hate you. And that's what your brand is. Either people like you or they don't like you. And they're allowed to not like you. And for the guy that came in and was like, oh, you have a boyfriend, I want a refund. I guarantee you he probably went to another stream where a girl didn't have a boyfriend and was on Twitch and found a community he's into. So like, there is something for everybody. And that's why I love it.
But is there a part of you...
There's a term for that that's soon to be banned, by the way.
Yeah, simp.
Oh, yeah.
But is there, on the flip side of that, you're talking about how you kind of dive in and just be you. Is there what is your boundary as far as your personal life? Because, and the reason I say this, because a lot of people don't want to bring in like their boyfriends, their whatever their personal life is. Yeah. Where, you say you like to be real. How much of that
name?
Where's your boundary stop in that? Because, and the reason why is, and like you said, some of the female streamers and male streamers, they don't want to say whether they have a boyfriend. They don't want to say that they're married or whatever, because what it is, number one, and I know this from firsthand, social media ruins relationships. And this is a part of social media, as much as you don't realize that. And you are a public figure. Yeah. And when you throw all your stuff out there, it becomes a problem, because maybe, who knows, a couple years down the line, there, you find a different relationship or whatever, and it causes those issues. So how much of that do you really, really, really want to put out there? Because, being the fact that you're in the public eye all the time on your social media now, on your Twitter, how much of that do you want to put out there, and how much you say, wait, maybe I shouldn't put this out here because it's not number one, it's none of their business. It's your personal life. It's just like when you go to work.
Right.
You tell your friends at work so many things, and then you stop because you don't want them to go. You set your boundaries. What are your boundaries you're setting here on Twitch as far as your community and your personal life?
Yeah, so that's a great question. My community knows that I have a boyfriend. They've seen him on screen a couple of times. He'll come in and chit chat here or there.
Snowman.
They don't. Yeah, we built a snowman the other day. It was really funny. They don't know his last name. They don't know, where we live. They don't know any of that. I would never give that information away. I actually was called out by people in my family when I started streaming because it's my full name. So it has to be, there's a level of trust I think that you have to have, but you also have to kind of tread very carefully. I don't tell people where I live. I don't tell people the town I live in. I don't tell people, where I work. Nobody knows where I work. I mean, you could probably find all this stuff on the internet regardless, because the internet, you can find anything out about it. But for me personally, it's like, I know what you're saying about like different relationships and that could like ruin things. So, I mean, Brian and I live together, my boyfriend. So like, it's pretty serious. But if anything were to happen, like, I mean, Brian's also very careful about, he doesn't like being on camera. Like, he doesn't like being in my stream. I mean, he likes like watching my streams, and he supports me wholeheartedly, but he doesn't like being a figure on my stream because he knows that like, this is me, this is my thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't make it that way, but he's like, nobody wants to see me. Nobody wants to see me. And I'm like, Brian, like, you're a part of my life. Like, you're going to have to be on stream every once in a while, or else they're going to be like, who the fuck is that man in your background? Are you okay? Like, is somebody in your house? Like, so they're going to ask those questions. So eventually it would have come out. So it was pointless for me to try to hide it. But yeah, I mean, like, my mom's been on my stream every once in a while, but nobody knows her name. Nobody knows anything about her. I've actually talked about like my childhood a little bit. But for me, I really do really enjoy the transparency, because I know, like, for my personal, in my personal viewing experience, like, I remember being on YouTube, I don't have a YouTube channel, but watching people on YouTube and like, I was very engaged with people who would like give us some of that personal life stuff, like those vloggers who would do like daily life stuff. And they were just going to Starbucks, and like, you saw them interacting with their friends and their boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. And for me, it was like, yes, I want that. But I also have to be cautious that you're right. If anything were to happen, it could affect my community. Like, if Brian and I broke up tomorrow, I'm sure people would be upset, but I'm sure there would be other people that would be like, hey, I'm here for you, like, very supportive. And I know, like, it's really dumb, but I watched the show The Bachelorette, and and like, people are they have so many opinions about who someone should be with, who they end up with, like, when they're together. If they break up, it's like this big public statement they have to make. So I'm very aware of that. And like, Brian and I, like, I mean, we've been talking, dating, whatever you want to call it, for like 10 years, honestly. So it's been a long time coming. So if I wasn't really confident in our relationship, I wouldn't obviously come on screen, but we've really built this great foundation that I'm like, this is wonderful. And I have the privilege to show this to my community because we've worked so hard on our relationship. And again, anything can happen at any time. He could come home today from work and be like, hey, fuck you, I'm out later. We're not dating anymore. But I've created this community, again, in the sense of like, we talk about mental health. We talk about all of those things that are hard to talk about. People do break up. Things do happen. Things don't always go as planned. And that's why I try to be as transparent as possible, so people know, like, I'm a real person. Like, I'm not coming on here every day like, everything's great, my life is great. Like, it's not some days. And that's why I try to tell people, like, so like, that it's okay to not be okay. And like, if something like that were to happen, which would be so horrible and traumatic, I know that I have a community now that would be so receptive and be like, it's okay. Like, hey, we're here for you. Like, whatever. I don't think they would talk shit on Brian. I don't think they would do anything like that. I think they're respectful. And that's what I tried to instill in my community, is having respect for people. I know, like, with that situation that happened with the other streamer that Jay and I were talking about, I told the streamer and I told my community, like, I'm not talking about this. I have respect for that person as a streamer still. I like respect everything they've accomplished. And because of that, just because we had some like falling out or whatever, I'm not going to go talk about them behind their back. Like, that's just not who I am. I'm never going to be that person. So for me, it's just about, you know, being real to an extent, being real about what's going on in your life, being real about the people in your life and stuff like that, but also having that, you know, like, I'm not going to shit talk Brian. I'm not going to shit talk. Like, if we're fighting, I'm not going to come on here and be like, oh my God, Brian and I fought about this and I hate him. Like, you know, like, I'm going to be real with you, but like, I'm keeping that side of things, of course, personal, because like, that's none of their business. Right. If we have a fight about what milk to buy or whatever the fuck we fight about now, it's dumb. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, so yeah, today we had a fight about milk and Brian's like this horrible person for it. Like, I'm not going to give you those details. But if he wants to pop on every once in a while and say hi, sure, absolutely. And if they want to have questions about Brian and I's relationship, go for it, you know? And that's another big part of it. Like, Brian and I go to counseling. We go to therapy. I'm 25 and he's 27 and we go to counseling. Like, usually people think about counseling as like a marriage thing, like your marriage is failing, you should go see a professional.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had our own traumas as children and like different parts of our lives, and it's so great to build this foundation with him through therapy that we can, you know, continue on through the rest of our lives. But I'm so transparent about that with my community. I'm like, we go to therapy, like, we're not perfect, like that kind of thing too. So having that insight, I think people can relate to that, and I think people want to know more about it. But there is a healthy line that you do have to draw, like, you know, keeping those things that are private. Like, I'm not going to come on here every day and be like, you know what my mom told me on the phone? Oh my God. Like, you know, so.
Well,
yeah. I mean, and the thing is that in order for, you know, and it's tremendously healthy the way that you're doing that, because often, you know, if we ask ourselves, okay, why do I feel I want to share this particular thing? Am I sharing it because I need support? Am I sharing it because I need to vent? Am I sharing it because maybe I could use somebody else's perspective? And if the come from is, if I'm going through something difficult, somebody else might be going through it. So if they can feel less alone in what they're going through, and, you know, and you are a public figure, so being able to be real and not have that, oh, well, you know, all you have to do is think positive and turn that frown upside down. That's crap, because not everybody can hold that. And because you have set up your community around that, it's not like, oh my gosh, you know, there's the big reveal.
Right.
No, because, you know, if somebody else can benefit from the fact that you're going through something, and, you know, 2020 has been a dumpster fire in a lot of ways. Yeah. And being able to, you know, I've had to evacuate. I lost a family member. My dog passed away recently. Mm-hmm. And so those were things that I shared, that I talked about, because I figured that a lot of people are going through a lot of things. And if someone can identify, or if they can feel like you understand where they're coming from and what their experiences are, you know, yes, that is a very healthy thing. When it becomes, well, I'm going to share this so I can, you know, that I can take this sympathy for myself. Or, you know, when it becomes about, you know, okay, well, I want to look a particular way. I want people to feel a particular way for me. So this is what I'm going to portray. And, you know, I've seen a lot of folks do that, you know, in public forums through social media. And it's like, okay, they are really scared, or they are really needing validation. So if it's just being done for validation, you know, maybe we think, okay, maybe there's a different way I can do this. Yeah. But if it's coming from a place of someone else can benefit from this, someone else, you know, we can help each other be strong. So coming from that point of view, you know, yes, there's always things that we do keep personal, and that can be a fluid thing, because if someone can benefit from knowing that someone else understands, you know, I think that that's a good thing.
So I just want to let you know, Katie, just a little sidebar on that, in case like your significant other walks in, you get a tool belt, and have them wear the tool belt, and then it looks like they're the maintenance person, right? I have
there you go.
I have a maid outfit, you know, just in case. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
I will say this. Involving the streamer Katie was talking about, that me and her both knew. it was. I'm not going to mention names, obviously, because that's just not right. But it was a streamer basically living out of her means, and she was trying to act like she was bigger than she really is, and she was trying to take over people's channels, telling them what to do, how to do it, and stuff like that. And it's just the toxicity was just—it's not worth it. And people like that, they show their true colors, and that's when you tell them that they got to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, and
what a terrifying world that person must be living in.
Well, yeah,
because it's like, well, and the thing is we really can't lie to ourselves. We really ultimately know what our truth is. And when you have somebody who has to put out, it's like, no, this is the image I want. This is the image. This is how people have to see me. That is a terrifying world that they live in, because they know they are this close to losing everything. There's this close, and they're always thinking somebody's going to figure me out. And I often have a lot of compassion, because it's, we all live in the hell of our own creation. And for somebody to create that for themselves, I have a hard time really going. You can draw boundaries with them. Absolutely 100%. You can draw boundaries and say, okay, that is not okay. I've got a right to your opinion, but I don't have an obligation to it. So, I really don't need to hear that, and I choose not to. Right. And, they're trapped. And, I've known a lot of people who, have found a way out of it and finally admitted that they weren't as together as they wanted to be. And then it became a good conversation. But by giving somebody a safe place it's like, okay, we have agreements, we have boundaries. And if you really decide you want to be real, if you want to talk to me about this, I'm happy to listen. So, being able to identify what's going on behind the mask. And, people have that mask and they're desperate for it. That is the only not good mask that we have. All the other masks are good. But, being able to identify, it's like, wow, that person is terrified. Can take the edge off the investment of, it's like, well, they deserve this, or they need that, or like, I see people, it's like, when somebody falls and people want to just celebrate the fall. And it's like, at the end of the day, they're a person. They're a person who, if at no other time, they could use someone who can tell them the truth and to listen to them honestly. So
I'm definitely that person, because you come into my stream and tell me how great you are. I pull up your Twitch account and I will show you how great you're not, because there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people that have this stigma because they made affiliate. All of a sudden they know everything about this. Me, Jay Stuns, I'm going on, what was it, 2017 October on this platform. So I've had to learn everything organically. I started from 0 followers for a whole 2 months of 0 to 1 followers, 1 person viewing. So it just frustrates me. And what frustrates me more is trying to call me while I'm fucking on a podcast, you stupid motherfucker. You not see I'm live?
I've had to read through everything twice. I had to relearn everything twice.
See that I'm live?
Oh my god!
When I started, I was doing my thing, and then all of a sudden I hit a wall, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I stopped, and it took me, I think, 2-3 months, and it was just like coming back, just being fresh again.
Yeah.
So,
It's
gotta learn
hard.
everything all over again several times.
It's frustrating because people come in here with these false, and that's what I'm saying. You are the lucky 1%, Katie. You're the lucky 1% that got in here, got figured it out. And this is something that you don't figure out overnight. This is not something you figure out within a week. This is stuff that you have to tweak. You have to adjust. You have to know and be self-aware about what your community is going to be. And you figured it out. You're in the 1% range, because there's the people that come in here and think they're going to be the next ninja, They're going to be the next, they're going to be next Shroud, the next Jay Stuns. It's not going to happen. Right. So, so for you to do that, you are very lucky to, and I think it's because you reached out and you had an open mind to listen to other streamers like Doc here. You don't understand how long I've been trying to convince her to stream.
A year. It took him a year to talk me into it.
She is my real doctor in real life. So she is my she is my real doctor. So she is a real doctor and she is my real doctor. And it took me we used to sit there because she used to do her stuff on YouTube, and I'm like, do that on Twitch. People will love it. And she would say, I'll think about it. Oh, you know, I'm getting my computer prepared. And that was like 8. And then finally
I had every possible excuse.
And then finally she came on.
Flares.
She came on here and realized, wait a minute, this is not as bad as I thought it was. It's just like doing YouTube. So
The idea was that first it's like, well, yeah, I'm a gamer, but I'm not good enough to be like on that level. And, you know, why would somebody what would interest would they have in what I had to say? And what got me to actually, you know, go with that was the fact that he said, look, there are gamers who need support. They need someone to talk to. They need a safe place. You know, there's a lot of them that are really stressed out. And that is what actually brought me in. And while, yes, I'm planning to incorporate gaming into at least some of my streams, mostly it's about providing a safe place for people to come in and be able to, you know, just kind of go through stuff and work stuff out. You know, I always say that I don't have, you know, I'm not big on having answers, but I do know a lot of really good questions. Because I believe every person ultimately has their own answer. They just need the right questions to get to it. And because he said that there was a need for that, and there was a need for people, it's like, oh my God, you know, my shoulder keeps killing me. Well, as a doctor, I can say, okay, here's some things that you can do. Here's some things you might want to look into. So that holistic aspect of body, mind, and spirit, because I'm also a reverend, I'm a medicine woman, I do indigenous traditions, and aspects of spirituality that, you know, maybe somebody needs a greater connection to who they are or, you know, whatever it is they're looking for. So, you know, that's how I ended up here. And the first thing I learned was that there are amazing people who are available to give advice and to help and support. And the successful streamers that I've seen are the people who allow that, who don't try to do it on their own.
I learned from having to do everything on my own, but I'm a hardhead. Yeah. So I literally learned all this stuff. I tweaked everything. I rebranded, and kind of redid everything and got the gaming PC and all that. Mind you, I was a Xbox streamer when I first started. I was nothing but an Xbox streamer when I first started this. So to go to where I am now, it's a big change, right?
I asked for my Xbox 360 in the divorce.
There you go.
There you go. The things that matter.
The things that matter.
Not going to say who told Naro he should get on PC, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Who was that, anyways? Can someone?
No, I don't know. Some asshole.
Legal team, can you figure out who told me to go to PC? Thanks.
I heard it's someone who makes great cookies.
Yeah.
All
right. So now we're going to move on to the. This is the for the people watching. This is going to be something that hopefully you guys learn from too. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is something that I think all of us we play against it. We don't talk about it on here enough. I do talk about it every once in a while. Especially when someone comes into my stream telling me that they're at the end, they don't want to live anymore. I've heard this more than one time. And this is the next segment we're getting into. So now I've realized also that after having to edit so many of these, I have to put a 30-second pause in so that way I can go from segment 1 to segment 2. So if you don't hear anything for 30 seconds, That's because we're doing this 30-second pause, so I can get this edited.
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence for Jay's cookies that he ate yesterday.